Today I'll be talking about the most timeless narrative ever tokenized.
Let's go, baby!
Nothing I say is financial advice. We've got more tailwind than we've ever had behind us in the cryptocurrency industry. We've got the first president in office that we've ever had that's for crypto. We've got the first SEC chair in office that we've ever had that is for crypto. We've got over 200 members in Congress that are for crypto for the first time in history. We've got a Bitcoin ETF. We've got an Ethereum ETF. You can see here, that little circle right there is when the gold ETF went live. And as you can see, gold went into a 10-year bull market. The adoption supercycle is here. The crypto bubble is behind us. The era of tokenization is just getting started. From real-world assets to names, brands, and beliefs. According to Boston Consulting Group, tokenization, the entire industry will be valued at $16 trillion by 2030. Meme coins have catapulted this tokenization era. They've become gateways to crypto adoption. Now, whether you like them or not, they're here to stay. They've become cultural phenomenons and are major contributors towards retail and crypto adoption. They, in fact, do contribute to a global Bitcoin. What is a meme? A 4chan or Reddit joke? A cartoon picture? Well, why don't we go take a look at where the word came from? The man who actually coined the term, Richard Dawkins, back in 1976, a meme is a unit of cultural information. The tokenization era has reflected this. And tokenization of narratives, which I like to call meme coins, or tokenization of narratives, may have started as jokes, but there is a major shift occurring. The tokenization of names, brands, ideas, and cultural movements is the era that we are entering. We saw it firsthand over the weekend with the President-elect Donald Trump tokenizing his name. Does anybody in the audience think that he was joking? His tokenized name hit 80 billion fully diluted market capitalization briefly. That is what the market felt its value was at. I screenshotted this picture because I personally have never seen 3 billion in 24-hour volume on a decentralized exchange. What occurred here was a catalyst. What occurred here was a catapult. Something that exploded this industry forward. Tokenizing names. What is the value? The value of Trump's name tokenized is worth tens of billions of dollars according to the market. What do you think is occurring here around the globe? The rest of the world is watching this. The biggest brands in the world, the biggest figures in the world are scrambling right now to do the same. Why don't we think deeply here? What's the value of tokenizing the name Nike? Or think even deeper, what would be the value of tokenizing the Statue of Liberty? That brings me to why I'm here today. The most significant name in crypto, the most timeless name in crypto, the most relevant name in crypto, Satoshi Nakamoto. It's been tokenized and it's now available on the 3 biggest retail tokenization chains on the globe: Ethereum, Solana, and Base. What's this mean? Satoshi Nakamoto, it represents a decentralized consensus. It's the legacy, it's the very reason we're all here today. And if we can all agree that meme coins are here to stay, and that meme coins are in fact major contributors and gateways towards crypto adoption, and that meme coins do in fact actually contribute to the goal of a global Bitcoin, then why not the name Satoshi Nakamoto actually become the biggest contributor and biggest gateway to that global contribution to a global Bitcoin? A name that requires zero learning curve. Why not the name Satoshi Nakamoto actually being the biggest contributor to bringing retail into this market? A zero learning curve narrative, a timeless narrative that remains relevant forever. I'd like to show a few clips from Murad. He's a meme coin analyst and expert, Princeton grad. He had a speech at the 2049 conference in Singapore. He dives into this thesis that I'm talking about how tokenized narratives are becoming something much more deep than a joke. They're becoming tokenized communities that have shared values, shared lifestyles, principles, ideals, ideologies. He then dives even deeper and discusses how they even have cult-like communities because of such deep belief. And then he explains how cult coins will trade at huge premiums because of the heavy emotional resonation. This picture right here really lit a light bulb in me. The biggest brands in the world have already created these loyal cultural phenomenon, cult-like followings. The Nikes, the Adidases, the Red Bulls, the Apples, the Teslas. Do you not think that after what we saw this weekend that every one of those brands wants to tokenize themselves? And that's when a light bulb really went off of me and I started thinking, what is the biggest cultural movement in this entire space? The unified goal of a global Bitcoin. We are all Satoshi, a phrase that gained prominence years ago and has only become more popular, meaning that every single individual that contributes to a global Bitcoin, whether it be you owning $1 or whether you got your neighbor to buy $20 or whether you're building the next multi-billion-dollar L1, you are in fact Satoshi Nakamoto in and of yourself in your own right. And that's why this phrase has gained such prominence. So we must ask ourselves, if Satoshi Nakamoto is in fact the most timeless narrative ever tokenized, why is the one I'm talking about the one that represents it all? Why is the one I'm talking about the one that's been accepted? Well, that comes down to two things: market acceptance and validation. There's nobody that can tell you what's accepted. The market does that. So when it comes to market acceptance, what does the market accept? What does it look at in order to accept something? Let's look at the basics. Contract and liquidity health. Satoshi was launched and the contract was renounced, meaning it can never be edited or changed. The liquidity was burned, meaning it can never be rubbed. It was a first mover advantage. It launched in 2023. It is the first Satoshi Nakamoto token that has had a community build around it and continually grows exponentially. It was fair launched. The developer was actually anonymous, ironically considering what it represents, and he sold all of his supply the day it launched. The wallet distribution is healthier than some multi-billion-dollar meme coin, some of which have 80% supply centralized. Community growth and activity. And of course, authenticity, because everything in this industry comes to light. That's what the market looks at for acceptance. How do we know the market accepted it? That's the validation. Endurance of time. It's still here and it's bigger than it's ever been. Organic growth. Real holders. Increasing monthly. Not bundled supply. Not 100,000 wallets owned by one program. Holders working for free 24/7 based off their sheer conviction. New initiatives being created every month to help contribute to the growth of the most timeless narrative ever tokenized. Catalysts occurring every month, like me standing on this very stage as a holder. So we must ask ourselves, if this is in fact the Satoshi, ticker Satoshi, contract name Satoshi Nakamoto, if this is in fact the one the industry has accepted, what's the value of this name? How long will it last? Well, according to Michael Saylor, we will date human civilization to before and after Satoshi. It is the single longest lasting narrative there's ever been and there ever will be. It gains relevance every single day while every other token has to fight to stay relevant. More people know the name Satoshi Nakamoto today than they did yesterday. It's a name that classes will be taught about, books will be written about, and movies will be made about. Its relevance never dies. I'd like to dive into a couple tweets that I screenshotted by Murad over the course of the past 6 months, where he explains the importance of multi-cycle narratives. Here he says, there will always be a flavor of the week, but very few of them will survive into sustainable multi-quarter, let alone multi-cycle giant monsters. There's always a new meta. Whether it's an Elon tweet, a dog, a cat, a frog, it doesn't matter for this narrative. Satoshi is always the meta. Here's another tweet. To identify the best meme coins, ask the following. Does it evoke strong emotions? Can it be a part of people's identity? Does it inspire thousands of people? Well, it inspires everyone in crypto. Can it be a part of people's identity? Well, we are all Satoshi. Can it sustain attention for a long time? It's the most timeless narrative ever tokenized. Can it become a global movement? It already has. Here he talks about how he believes meme coins that are most similar to BTC will end up being the biggest. Here he says this again. Find meme coins most similar to BTC. Well, here it is sitting right under our noses. The only token that is more closely tied to Bitcoin's relevance than anything else in existence. So as we go into this tokenization era, where names are going to be tokenized, brands are being tokenized, cultural movements are being tokenized, communities are being tokenized, we must ask ourselves, what is more timeless than Satoshi? There is nothing that is more timeless than this narrative. The market has chosen this one. The market has accepted this one because this is the one that represents Satoshi the best. It represents decentralization to the core. It represents a legacy of the very name and reason we are all here today. It represents a digital monument that is not going away. And what's the validation? The validation is me on the stage. The validation is the ecosystems being built around this token. Like this very ecosystem here, Satoshi Shade. As you see on my shirt, I can't pull them off because I have two things in each, I have one thing in each hand. These launched today. You all are the first to see them. These are created by the community to support the growth of the most timeless narrative ever tokenized. These are the first Bitcoin sunglasses. With every purchase, 21% from the sale goes towards buying Satoshi on the open market. Half of which goes to a Satoshi treasury that is managed by the core contributors of the token on a multi-sign wallet. The other half goes to the person who actually just purchased the sunglasses, meaning every sale of sunglasses transitions to a new Satoshi holder. What I'll leave you with is, this industry is hard. There's nothing easy about it. It requires resilience and it requires endurance. There's nothing more resilient than a community powered by the conviction of the most timeless narrative ever tokenized. And I'd like to leave it with a question. I think we must all ask ourselves, do you want to be part of something that's only tied to the present or to the future? The legacy only gets stronger. Thank you.